Capricorn, creating a blockage that you might not be aware of. So let's get into the details of your cards for this week. All right, Capricorn. I'm seeing that there is a need to possibly balance and heal some emotions around a financial new start that's causing some kind of imposter syndrome or some kind of creative block because you have the Ace of Wands reversed paired with the Ace of Pentacles, right? So it's like you have this financial new start, but it is blocking a passionate new beginning. It's like contradicting themselves, right? And you see that whenever you are in a position that either blocks your creative flow or you are experiencing something where you're trying to be something that you're not, right? And you can't be successful in anything if you're not honest with yourself, right? And I see that there's a need to balance that. This was smack in your middle of your reading, and then you have energies going like this. So on this side, you have the Six of Wands, the Oracle of Cups, and the Champion of Swords. You want to be victorious, right? And you're trying to trust your gut on how to approach this situation. And I feel like it's possibly a conversation that you're wanting to approach with the Champion of Swords being there, but you're also not fully thinking this through. Maybe you're being stubborn about something. Maybe you are not wanting to budge on a particular management style or the way you want things done. But I think, being paired with the Oracle of Cups, Spirit is trying to tell you to just try to balance those emotions and trust your gut, right? Trust your gut, trust your feelings, and try to harmonize that, right? Because right now you're in this energy of being very brash. And on this side, you have the Oracle of Pentacles and the Elder of Pentacles. The Oracle of Pentacles is all about balancing your finances and your emotional self, right? And that can be your work and your home life balance, or your work and your relationships. You need to balance the two. And personally, I think it has nothing to do with anybody outside of yourself. I think it has everything to do with trying to balance what you want financially with your emotions. And it's funny that, well, not funny, but it makes sense that you see the Ace of Pentacles and the Ace of Wands reversed, and then you see the Seven of Swords smack in the middle of your reading. I don't think anybody is trying to lie to you or be dishonest or be sneaky. I think that is yourself. I think with the imposter syndrome coming out, with the block and that path, there's something you are not being honest about with self, which is causing this all needing to be balanced out. Because when we're not true to ourselves, energy cannot flow, right? When we're sitting there putting on a mask for people because we want certain things out of work, we're never going to get anywhere because we're not truly being ourselves and being in that energy that will bring in abundance and manifestation, because we're lying. We're not truly being who we are. And I get the feeling that you're a very giving person. You're very charitable because you have the Six of Pentacles paired here with the Oracle of Pentacles. And maybe you give too much and you get frustrated that people don't give the same to you. Like maybe you're that type of friend that buys everybody dinner, or always, buys the beers and shows up with a joint or whatever. And you just feel like you give a lot and you don't get a whole lot in return. And I feel like, you are very focused on your finances and what you're trying to build because you have the Elder of Pentacles here smacking your reading in the middle of your reading. I think that's your energy. Very much Capricorn. You're very much about, the home that you want to build and the life that you want to build and, the job and the career. And I think you just need to find balance with that. And I think because it's not balanced, I think that's why this is happening here, right? Because you have this and then you have this. So spirit is like, this needs to be balanced out, right? Emotionally, so that you can have healing and you can have can't think of the word. You can have rebirth. Sorry. It's like an energy of like, okay, I've healed that. I've gotten over that. I've gotten through that. Now I can process that and go through the healing process, right? I don't think you need to lie in order to be successful. Don't be sneaky in order to get your success. You just need to trust your gut, trust who you are, right? There's no need to cut corners in order to be successful in your career, in your path. Your overall energy was the Hierophant, which is a card of learning, which is a card of seeking mastery in a skill, right? And I think that, I just keep getting this like replaying message in my head of just be you. Trust your gut. Trust that you're going to be successful. Trust who you are. Trust who you know who you are, right? And don't go so overboard with work that you lose sight of who you are just to be successful, just to win, right? Because maybe that isn't who you are, right? Some part of you doesn't resonate with that, which is causing this block. I want to read the Ace of Wands reversed for you guys so that you can understand what I'm trying to say a little bit better. Are you doubting yourself or feeling imposter syndrome? Perhaps something is blocking your creative potential, and the block may be coming from inside. Pull a clarifying card to identify what else is going on or what will help you overcome this blockage. Trust your intrinsic value. Exactly. I think what is blocking this is what's paired with it, which is your money, which is your job, right? You're blocking yourself from feeling valued, and you just need to remember to trust your gut, trust who you are, and that will bring in the victory. That will bring in the success. Not trying to deceive yourself on who you actually are. And we do that without even thinking about it, right? Like, I'm a super creative person, and I found myself in a 9 to 5 job that was super corporate, and I hate corporate stuff. I hated all the meetings. I hated having to do all the presentations, and it just didn't feel like me. It didn't. And it was blocking my energy. It was blocking all of that. It was blocking true abundance because I was not being who I truly am. And I understand that we all have to like do our big boy jobs and, do shit that we might not have always thought was going to be our dream path. I fully understand that. But there is a line in our career and in our morals and who we are, right? So maybe that's another issue, is like, is what you're doing not aligning with your morals? Is what you're doing to make money not really lining up with who you see yourself to be? I think this is, all about balance. There's a lot of things that need to be balanced here. And, you don't only have the two of, pretty much the Two of Pentacles with the Oracle of Pentacles and the Two of Cups, which is both emotional and financial. Those areas need to be balanced for you. So let's see if there's anything else that wants to come out this week, Capricorn. Yeah. So the overall energy for this card that just came out was the Judgment card, and the card that came out was the Nine of Cups. The Nine of Cups is about wish fulfillment. It is about emotional happiness and contentment, right? And that is literally crossing your Ace of Wands reversed and your Oracle of Cups. Your wish fulfillment is blocked because you're not truly being who you are. And you need to remember to trust yourself. Trust what your gut says, right? Don't try to be someone you're not. And I feel like that decision is going to bring in a rebirth for you, with the Judgment card being here. It's a decision that you make that brings in a time of transformation and rebirth, right? It's just interesting, honestly, because, Capricorns, y'all are normally very, like, independent, very much strong in who you are, strong in your finances. But then again, we can all get lost in that, right? Maybe you've gotten so lost in wanting to make money and want to build a successful career that you've lost yourself. And you're not following your passions because you're so focused on money. So, yeah, that's what I have for you this week, Capricorn. If this message resonates, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I would truly appreciate the support. I will be giving away a free reading this month, so if you're interested, please comment blessings down below and have an awesome day. Bye, my little mystics.